Hello, and welcome to Online Event Planning. I'm Admiral and Cash. Most people just call me Admiral, though. This is Trey, my cat, and he'll be with us for the majority of this, for as long as he is asleep. So, if at any point during this class you have any questions, please feel free to post in the chat here in Twitch. There is a 20-second delay, so I will answer it as soon as I am able to see it. For those that are on the Nine Blades Discord, you can also send questions there. Just tag me in either one so that I can see it. Usually when there's multiple individuals in chat, they chat. So it can be a little hard to find the questions at times. So just bear with me and I will answer them when I get the chance. Yeah, so let's go to it. First and foremost, thank you so much to Lichwood Grove for allowing me to teach today. This is part of their mid-rain event, so thank you very much, and thank you to the autocrat Rajavia. And traditional jazz hands for Rajavia. Okay, so let's begin. When doing an event, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be writing a bid, and you're going to be presenting that to your officers. So, first and foremost, you need to know what to put on the bid. And throughout this class, I'm going to be explaining the bid process, the pre-event work, the event work, and the post-event work. So we're going to start with the bid. Online classes and events are a little bit different than... sorry. They are a lot different than what you will typically see in a regular live event. You're going to have different crats. You're going to have new crats and some crats that you would usually have for live event you would not have in these circumstances. So we're going to cover that in the bid. So in the bid you're going to want to list the crats that you have and the individuals that will be taking up those roles. So first and foremost you have the autocrat. The autocrat is the one putting this all together. They're the leader of the event and the one that will be communicating, facilitating all of the events that will be happening in said event. For online, you're going to have a Techcrat. Now this individual is going to be the person that will be running all of the technical aspect. This person is extremely important because if there are any issues that come across, maybe the internet goes down, somebody's visual or audio has distortions or any sort of issues, they're able to fix and manage things live. So it's extremely important because this is the only way that we have to put on the event itself. So it's sort of like having a site crat, if that makes sense. You're going to want also a troll crat. These types of events will still have attendance, so you're going to want somebody that will be in charge of that. For events up here in the Nine Blades, we are so blessed to have Ken, who has created an amped bot for us for our Discord. So we have a very, very easy way to track attendance up here. So that's not always going to be possible in different platforms, in different scenarios, in different kingdoms even. So if you don't have such a thing set up, what you would need to do is make sure that they have their orc name, their kingdom, their park, and the credit that they would like to take. So, side note on that. Due to the scenario that we have, these don't tend to make a profit, right? Because we don't typically charge for online events. This can be problematic due to the function and costs of your park, especially for those that deal with liability insurance and things of that nature. So what we've been starting to implement is a fund crat, so a fundraiser crat. So even though you're not getting attendance troll through your finances through that, you can run auctions and do other fundraisers to be able to mitigate those costs later. So having somebody that's in charge specifically of the fundraising can be very crucial to these types of events. Now, those are sort of your mains, but there's other options that you can also have. You can have an ANS-crat if you want to run an online ANS tournament. Depending on when the event is, it could be your Dragon Master tournament as well. So having that platform and having a crat specifically dedicated to running that, creating the rule set, if it is not being run by your regent, which would have the rule set already preset for the turn, particularly if you are in the Nine Blades. Excuse me. Remember to hydrate while we're doing this class. Feel free to drink along. It is very hot out today. So yeah, ANS crat, just like you would at a regular event. If you have classes and if you are the autocrat and maybe you're taking care of so many things that you specifically want somebody to take care of classes, if you have them, having a class crat can be very useful. Now this individual could be somebody that is teaching a class themselves, or they are putting together a group of individuals to teach classes for the event. So that's one of those optional things that you can have. Otherwise, it could very well just be the autocrat, coordinate all the things they may teach. I know that I certainly do when I am running these online events. Another crat position that you could have is a quest crat. Up here in the Nine Blades, we've been doing a bunch of events where we do have quests running, and we've done it on multiple platforms at this point, and they've done very successful. So that's definitely a crat position that you can add and can really add some great flavor to your event. I do believe that there's actually RP running for this very event, and our quite lovely and amazing Rajavia, our autocrat. So again, right, just as much as you can pack into these, go for it, right? So props to you, madam. Yeah, so those are gonna be all the crat positions. Don't be afraid to add more when you see there be a need for something. You don't have to be restricted to these. These are just your basic set and good options to go for. So, what other things are you going to put on the bid? Any financial aspects due to what is usually a lack of profit for these. If you are doing an auction, you want to state that you're doing so. You want to state where the money is going to. Is it simply going to your treasury? Is it for your liability insurance? Is it for a future indoor location like we've done with Lenigond events? Or is it for a charity, a cause or something of that nature that you are going to be donating these funds? You want to state so in the bid. You also want to explain the type of fundraiser you're doing. So if you're doing an auction, you want to state that. You want to state how you're going to do it, how you're going to be getting the items, how the pay method will work, and how you're going to get the items to the individuals that bid and win the items. In some things I've seen, there's things set up where it's pay what you can, right, for any special events or doing like personalized quests. Where you by no means must pay for anything, but if you're willing to throw a few bucks here or there, that is accepted. If that's an option that you're going to go with, that's, again, you want to state that in the bid. If for some reason you do have a troll, you do have like an actual attendance fee, you certainly will want to put that in your bid. You'll also want to explain how you're going to be transferring those funds. This is an e-transfer, PayPal, something like that. Also, sorry, I totally lost my track there. Train of thought there. I just got a message up on Discord. If that is a question, I will get to that as soon as it goes back on. Sorry, my Discord just shut down. Apologies. But yes, so if you are doing something with attendance fee, you are also going to want to state what your attendance fee is in the bid, and any other details pertaining to that. All the financial aspects that will go in your bid. If you are doing this online, again, you want to state the platform you're going to be doing your tech on, how that's going to work. If you're doing something like a platform that costs anything, you're going to want to have any sort of, again, financials to be in your bid. You're also going to want to have the schedule. So have the list of activities you're going to be having made available to the individuals attending the event. You're going to want to state the times, and you're going to want to explain the particulars of what they are, right? So if there's an ANS tournament that's going to run from this time to this time, if entries must, there be a cutoff time to enter, if you can do it a day before, things like that. You're going to want any particulars for the event you're going to be wanting to put in there. Also the date. You're going to want to say when you're going to run this. Now that can actually really, really affect things as well, because there's a lot of things being run right now, and you want to make sure that you're not going to be conflicting with any other parks in your area that are also running events. So it's really good to make sure that it is explained in your bid the days and times that your event will be running. In the bid also, and this is sort of the last section that you really should cover, is the theme. If you have any particular theme that your event will be based around, and include all of that information. I myself have run Paragon Bootcamp and Clash of Talons. Obviously, the Paragon Bootcamp was all Paragon themed, and Clash of Talons was all Phoenix League themed. So going in and explaining the concept of the event and your idea and how the events will reflect that theme, that's a good thing to add to your bid as well. So if there are any questions having to do with the bid, please let me know. Again, if you could tag me in either of the chats, on Discord or in Twitch, I will answer any questions that you have that come up, so please let me know. And if there are not, then we will simply move to the next section. Again, the 20-second silly dance for Rajavia as tradition. Silly dance, and ending with the jazz hands. Okay, fantastic. Okay, still sleeping? Awesome. Moving on. Okay, so you put in your bid, everything looks good. Your monarch, your chancellor, and the rest of the officers, if it goes to the BOD, then your BOD, they give you the go-ahead. You have now won the bid. Now what? Now you have your pre-event work. So let's go into that. Communication is going to be your absolute key to all of this. When you are not able to see your crats in real life, you're not able to go to field and have meetings with them, figuring out a different mode of communication is going to be very crucial to this. Something that I have found very helpful in the past has been to create a Facebook page, like a group for the crats and the team for those crats, so that you have a sort of a hub to be able to have all of your communication through. You have separate categories going over different topics, and everything's on record, so you can see everything's timestamped and dates, and you can have multiple conversations, and you can tag the particular crats to those sections as you're going. So that can be a huge boon. Things you want to have on there is checklists, right? Get everyone to just say, I thought that was a question popping up. all of the list of things that each crat is going to be responsible for doing, have them actually listed out so that you know that they have got that message, that they have interpreted it correctly, and that they know exactly what they are expected to be able to perform before the event day. It's also good to put your own checklist up there. So you can let your team know that you also are working right beside them, you're getting things accomplished, and right, you mark them off as you go so you can see what everyone else is doing and they can see what you're doing, right? Keeping up that line of communication. You're going to want to post any sort of updates. If any plans change, if there's notifications, different things that pop up, right? When you say that the event page is up, if you want to add any of the sections that you're covering, right? Having those updates, letting your team know as you're going. This is also a really good place to express gratitude and appreciation, to keep up morale and to support your crats. As the autocrat, that is a crucial aspect to you leading a team, is making sure that everyone is together, that they're unified, and that communication is there and support is there, and to make sure that you are also facilitating any needs that they may have. Also, in this time, you're going to want to express a few things that are going to be very important to particular online events. You're going to want to go over Garb. Wearing Garb for these really has an effect. When you're just wearing your mundane clothes, it doesn't feel like an Amp Guard event. So it's very important that when this is all you've got, that you show in some manner that this is still an Amp Guard event, that we're still here for this purpose. So making sure that everyone has Garb, you're communicating that. The schedule. You want to make sure that everyone fully understands the schedule, fully understands when things are happening, when things are not happening, and the length of time that they will be doing activities. Also to make sure that, right, especially when you're doing things like classes and activities of that nature where you're going to be in and out throughout the day, right? You want to make sure that they're able to be able to be reached half an hour to an hour before, so that 5 minutes before you're going live with a new class, with a new group of individuals, that they all of a sudden, you can't reach them and you're supposed to go live, and it becomes mass panic, and you want everything to run smoothly. So it's going to be really, really important that you're able to express any sort of time-specific things in the schedule, and your expectations of when they need to be there, how long they need to be there, and when they can leave. Tech tests. A lot of folks will run events and not realize the importance of tech tests. If you have anyone that is going to be on camera, you need to know that they have a camera. You need to know that they have the ability to be seen and be heard. So you want to make sure they have a mic as well. You want to make sure that their internet is functional and is up to speed. You want to make sure that they understand that they cannot have things streaming, other things streaming, downloading, things like that, because it's going to slow everything down, right? So when we do these, right, I have two phones. I have to put everything on airplane mode, basically. For the other phone where I connect with Discord, I have to do that on data. Things like that, right? That's going to be super, super important. If you're in a household with, a bunch of other people, right, you got to make sure that not everyone's watching Netflix, streaming on their Twitches in the other room, right? You never know what folks will end up doing during these times. So you got to make sure that the communication is very clear on what folks should and should not be doing during that time. So having a quick tech test to be able to go with your Techcrat and check check the sound levels, make sure everything's adjusted correctly, right? Lighting also is a huge thing. Lighting. You're going to be dealing with your windows. You're going to be dealing with other, right, top lights, side lights, things like that. When you are doing a stream that can be happening during sunset, all of a sudden everything changes. The lighting everywhere changes. So knowing where your light sources are and how that's going to affect the shot, that's got to be planned out as well. What really, really helps for those is having your tech tests during the time that the event would be happening, right? Or at least the portion that individual would be on screen for. It's really good to just, you'll actually see the actual lighting that they'd have during that time, especially if you're playing around with sunset time. So that's super important, because you might have to use tricks and stuff. So, and that's something that a good Techcrat is going to be able to explain and express and go over. There's lots of stuff. And I can bring in Tyler to explain any sort of the super technical stuff if folks are interested in that at any point. Please let me know. Yeah. So other things, deadlines. If things need to be made or prepped by particular days or times, you're going to want to make sure that everyone is aware of those things. Okay, yeah, that's the next thing, so I will wait on that. There's a method to my madness. So I will explain a little bit on this particular deadline that we have come up with in the Nine Blades. So I will do that shortly. So more into communication during the pre-event work is going to be posts. Posts are going to be super critical for your events. You're going to want to hype your event. You're going to want to keep interest. You're going to want to make it clear that these events are happening, because there is so much happening right now. And there's a lot of other events happening, other classes and quests and all sorts of stuff. Spartix, gosh, there's a lot going on. So making sure that folks know when your event is happening, and that if it is around the time of another event, why they should pick your event over something else. You want to make sure that you've got good quality stuff and that it's exciting and engaging, and that it will actually get folks to come out. So you do that for the hype posts. Hype. You're going to want an event page as well. On Facebook, you're going to want to have everything that's going to be a part of your event. You're going to want the explanation of anything. So you're going to want to have all the auction information and fundraisers if you have any of those happening. You want the schedule in there. You want to have all of the explanations of the events that are happening in that schedule. You're going to want all of that in your event page. So those are super important. For auctions, if you're doing auctions, having pictures of the items is really, really good. And being able to have posts that show what those items are, it will get people excited to want to bid on those things. And a lot of times you'll get bidding wars for that. I know some fundraising crats will do like teaser posts. So they'll show, one or two items at a time kind of thing as they're going. So it's sort of this build up to the event. So it's doing multiple things. It's letting folks know that there are items and that there's really cool items and there's more items coming. And it's also a reminder of the event when that's happening, right? It's gonna keep on just bumping those posts of when your event's coming without you having to just constantly going, oh, hey, by the way, this date, hey, so the date, you should come to the date, right? Having multiple crats posting about their things and making sure that the date's in there, that will help keep it fresh in folks' minds of when it's happening. So this is all just communication-based stuff for pre-event work. The other thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is court. The pre-event work that will happen with court is that you need to know which officers will be on camera for court. You're going to want court to be a part of your event. So up here in the Nine Blades, we now have the champion has specific awards that they can give out now. So that's another officer that usually isn't part of that ceremony, but is now up here. Your regent and your monarch, for sure. Those are going to be the ones that you're going to want on camera, because they're definitely going to have awards to give out, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you're doing tech tests with them. You're going to want to make sure that they know to wear garb, that they know when they need to show up by, how long to expect them to be there for. Oh, good morning, Trey. And any other expectations that you have for them. Now, if you've got a Techcrat that is able to do this, I would highly advise doing it, because it really, really, really helps with court. For those that are getting awards that involve scrolls, coronets, hoods, favors, anything that is handmade, getting pictures of those items before the event and then having them set up in a slide, so that during court, when they're being announced, a slide can come up and show the actual item that individual is getting and what was made for them. That's gone over really, really well so far, and it's a special moment for them, because as of right now, we can't have live courts. We can't be physically presenting these items to them, but it's important that they know that that they were still done, and that they are somewhere, and that we are going to get them to them, and that even though all of this is happening, we haven't stopped. We're still going strong, and we're still here, and we care. So being able to show those items is a really cool thing, but it is not something you can do last minute. So another thing with communication is communicating with the individuals that are making those items to make sure that they are done well before the event, to make sure that the pictures are being sent before the event, and knowing what the cutoff time is for those items, to be able to be put into a slide for that. You have to be able to communicate that. That's so crucial. But that's all pre-event work. So things you might not have to, that you wouldn't normally think to deal with, and certainly things that you would not be a thing if you were doing a live event, because you would just have those items and you'd hand them out live as you go. I already went over tech tests. I'm going to quickly check to see if there's anything I missed in there. Real quick, Tyler, because you are on call here, do you have anything that you would like to add, any sort of explanation for tech tests? Anything that you found is really useful to go over? Any advice you have for future Techcrats to make sure that said events go smoothly?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is internet connection. Also, speaking of internet connection, there's a warning here. Are you guys seeing this okay? Can everyone see and hear just fine?
Again, if you could post in the Twitch chat or on the Discord. Either one would be just fine.
Are those disconnected?
Yep. Data's on that. Airplane mode on that.
People might not be able to hear us literally right now as we're talking. everything just started going downhill. If you can hear us, let us know. Post in chat if you can hear us so we can continue. I'm worried that all of a sudden that's disconnected. No, I don't have this. I'm worried that
Nope,
Windows might be updating. Good? Okay. Well, it's showing we've got like 30% frame drop. Okay, yeah.
All right.
We'll keep going then. Let us know if it starts getting bad. I suspect it might be like Windows trying to update in the background. So, yeah, step 1, tech test. Know when your Windows is going to update. But, yeah, so the most important thing is making sure anyone who's going to be doing something like this, you get them to check their internet with, like, speedtest.net or any other of those software so you can see what their upload speed is. If their upload is at least 5 up, then they're good. If it's like 1 or less or 2 or less, they're gonna have quality issues and staggering issues and frame loss issues and potential problems. So knowing what someone's upload speed is very important. If you have an officer who wants to hand out awards but they can't properly have their connection, it's not going to work out. They're just going to be choppy all the time. That combos with other people living in their apartment, their house, their whatever, sharing their internet that might be streaming or downloading or whatever. When they're doing this, they can't be connected. They can't, like, you want to have everyone else not connecting, because someone just watching like Netflix on their phone, someone doing another stream, if there's like, teenagers or other kids who are, streaming to Twitch or whatnot, that will just tank the whole thing. And even if you were good during a tech test, it might be absolutely trash now because someone else is doing something. If you've been to any of our other streams, you've noticed at some points where we'll go to the gremlin slide, and that's usually because we need to tell someone, hey, go run around your house and tell everyone to disconnect their stuff. And as soon as they do that, everything's good again. So know that that's a thing you might need to do. I think that's pretty much it. Just like making sure your internet connection is stable, because this is all based on internet connection. I guess using the same equipment that you're going to be using is important, right? Like if you're doing a tech test and they're like, okay, let's do a tech test now, and they do their tech test at work from their phone, but they're actually planning to present on their laptop at home, the tech test means nothing. You're tech testing something that's not going to be the way it is during the show. So making sure that they're using the device they're going to be used in the location they're going to be used, connected to the internet they're going to be using, and all of those things are in order right then and there. And then that you tell them, okay, we did this test, do the exact same thing next time. And in theory, it should be good, provided Windows doesn't start to update in the middle of everything.
Yeah, fair.
I think that's it for stuff.
Real quick, just before you go, I'd also like to mention just sort of different platforms, different options that you'll have, because you have to decide what platform you want to be doing these on. So for our events, we've been doing them on Twitch, but how it's actually done is we have a call on Discord, and then that's brought over onto Twitch. Do you want to kind of explain how that works?
Yeah, so in a very succinct way of putting it, we use software called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. It's completely free. You can download it, Google OBS, and you'll get it. And it's basically just a program that you add your sources to, add a camera, add a background, add the text, everything you're seeing down here we put in. You can connect a Twitch account, you can connect a YouTube account, you can connect Facebook, you can connect a whole bunch of things. And when you hit go live, it will put whatever you have in that canvas, stream it live. The thing that we do for multiple people is we will open up a Discord conversation, like just a regular, like 4-person group message, start a video chat there, and then you can add a screen capture of that to your disc or to your OBS canvas, right? And then you can crop them each individually, move them where you want, put text, do whatever you want to rearrange it so it looks nice. Or you can just, drag the whole window on the screen, make it a little smaller, and then write your text around it. It's not super hard. It's the thing that all the kids are doing these days. So there's tutorials everywhere to learn how to use OBS, to learn how to work with Twitch, and just get this is very basic at the end of the day. So it's not hard to go and find a couple 5-minute videos that get you set up, give you some basic settings and everything. I will say, whoever is being the host, though, you do need a decent upload. So you do need I would recommend at least 10 megabytes up as your internet connection. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to upload at a decent quality. And if you're going to be doing the Discord stuff at the same time, you, as the host, need to also have a good download speed. Because if those aren't good, then you're not going to be getting good quality from them, and then you're not going to be uploading good quality, and basically you're going to be uploading a pixel that changes color every now and then, and audio. Cool? Yep. Any questions?
Again, remember the 20-second delay. Please feel free to tag me in either the Nine Blades Discord or the Twitch chat. Again, the Nine Blades Discord, we do have the benefit of it being live, so I'll see it the second that you
This is
post
live
it.
too.
Well, 20-second delay.
Well, that's going to have a 20-second delay as well.
I have not found it on that yet. So, yep, but if there is no other questions, then we'll send you on your way and continue on this class.
I guess I could make another extra note about Zoom and Discord in general.
I was literally going to do that.
Okay. You can, before she goes into it, either of those you can grab and throw onto Twitch as well if you want to do it that way. So if you're doing a Zoom call, you can grab Zoom and throw it into your OBS and restream it elsewhere for a wider audience that don't have the Zoom thing. Okay, good?
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so other platforms that you can use. These are some options. They're not the end-all be-all. So please feel free to use what works well for you and things that you are familiar with. But a lot of folks have been using Zoom for different things. And Discord, which we have open here. And things like D20. Roll20. Roll20. If you're doing quests that are D&D based, that works really well for that. If you're looking to do something really, really simple, just not even dealing with even just video, right? You can do everything on Discord with just voice, right? You can have quests in certain rooms. You can have ANS things going. You can have court where it's just, sound. I've been to events like that so far. Very, very simple, but gosh, better than nothing. I know that there's a lot of even kingdoms out there right now that are not even hosting courts at this point, where it's literally just a Facebook message. So anything that you're willing and capable of doing absolutely will make a difference to the individuals that are receiving awards, and for the park members just to be able to have some sense of normalcy and connection through this extraordinarily difficult time. Being here for one another and having a platform, having a space that we can make Amped Guard exist. This is the time to do it, and events is a very, very, very important time to attempt such things. So if you're willing to put the work in, I highly advise it. It's needed, I don't think we should just give up, roll over, and accept the situation around us right now. We are able to do these things online, so go for it. Just go for it. Have fun, experiment, try things, and go for it. But again, right, we've been explaining just sort of our process and how we've been doing it up here in our parks and in our principality. but different kingdoms will do different things. I know Zoom is huge right now in a lot of kingdoms. So again, anything that you're going to use, make sure that you have experience with, that you do testing with, try trial runs of things, experiment, play around with it, figure out what works best for you, what you understand best, and whatever platform is going to be able to facilitate the particular activities that you want to present in your event. Because some things are going to be better for particular activities, and some things might be just terrible for some activities. It's going to be good to just kind of play around, experiment, and see what things can do. I know for Discord in particular, when the lockdown started and we were just moved just regular fields onto Discord, we had a lot less options than we have now. So with time, things have been expanding. So even if you've tried something, let's say a month or two ago, and you went, oh, this is garbage and this doesn't do what I want it to do, check it out again. See if there's been updates, different programs. Discord now has video capability, and also can do calls with like 50 people, I think, at this point. Oh, excuse me. So check in again. See the updates that are made and the different options that are now available. So there's that. That is the primary amount for the pre-event work. So if anyone has any questions for the pre-event, please let me know. Again, 20-second delay on Twitch. I'll see the typing right away for Discord. So either way, just tag me and I will go over any questions that we've gone over again. We've covered the bid work, we've covered the pre-event work, and we're going to move on to the day of. So if you have any questions pertaining to pre-event or bid work, now's the time. Again, for Rajavia, my dear friend, silly dance. And the traditional ceremonial jazz hands. Good. Okay. Let us move on then. So, you have won the bid. You've done all the pre-event. Now, we're to it. To the actual event. This is the day of. Let's do this. Something that you're going to want to deal with is your setup. That's going to be everything that you have in the camera. Right? What is showing is going to be very important. You don't want it to be showing a bunch of garbage. Quite literally, garbage. If you like have your thing by the door and you've got all of your garbage ready to go out and that's in your shot, that's going to look very bad. So be cognizant of what you're actually showing in the frame that you've got, right? So mine's about to like here. So I know that anything that's in this space is gonna show, right? So outside of the screen, you can have a whole bunch of stuff, right? I've got this bag over here. I've got, my drink here. I've got my note cards in front, but it's all outside of, now that's in frame, right? It's all outside of the frame. You can have stuff around you, but be super cognizant of what's in that frame, right? Trey's the only exception. He can come in whenever he likes. So be aware of that. We call it also just set deck, right? Things that you would like set dressing, like you would for a show. Figure out how you want to set up things, right? This is not normally how this couch looks. We don't have this setup like this. We don't have our pillows like this. We don't have the blanket there, right? This is just, to have a good visual, dealing with different colors because of the garb that I wear, and stuff like that, right? Just be aware of what's in that shot. Play around with it, have fun. And dress it up, right? Just like you're going to an event, have whatever you like in there. Just keep it in mind as things to play around with. Your garb. Be aware of how much of your garb is showing. make sure that you give yourself enough time in your setup to be able to get fully garbed. The last thing you want to do is wake up 5 minutes before you're supposed to go on camera and then try to get everything on, and then it takes you half an hour to put all of it on, you know, an hour or so, depending on, you know, how extensive your cart garb is. Make sure that you've got that time allotted for that. Oh, there's a comment. Just so you know, I jazz hands with you. That makes me so happy. Thank you. Thank you, Rajavia. Yes, all the jazz hands. So glad. Fantastic. Yeah, all good. Good stuff. So, yep. Give yourself ample amounts of time. Just like you would for getting all your armor on and stuff for a battle game, right? You're not going to try to do that 5 minutes before game starts, even though there are people that do that. Give yourself ample amount of time to prep, get ready, make sure that, you know, there's going to be things you're going to forget. You're like, oh, shoot, I forgot to get a drink. Oh, I forgot to, you know, have a snack nearby, or, right, whatever the case is. Oh, I can't find my note cards. I wrote this whole class and now I don't know where they are. Right? There's going to be things you're going to forget. So giving yourself enough time for that prep is going to be super, super important. Again, right, you're going to want to check the lighting. You're going to want to make sure that, you know, you're not have blinding white light or complete darkness. You're going to want to just, again, you're going to look at that shot, you're going to see how everything looks and adjust accordingly. No cards. If you are teaching a class, I highly advise use note cards. These things are great. Just sort of just a side tip, right? You don't have to write word for word what you're going to say. Just having bulletin points of the things you want to cover just is a quick little visual. You can just look down really quickly, see a single word that like jogs your memory of a particular topic, and that helps a lot. Also, color coding. I have this whole entire class that's color coded. I really like playing around with color coding. It helps a lot, especially when you can only quickly glance down at something. Being able to see the color and know where you're at, right? Right now, for me, I know that I've got it set up as like a like lights. So I've got the yellow light, the green light, and the red light, and that's my pre-event, event, and post-event setup. So I know that my note cards are always going to be in the right order because I can quickly just glance at the color. So just sort of organizational skills, things to just kind of keep in mind when you're doing stuff. Try not to do these on the fly. When you are planning to do a class, make sure that you give yourself ample time to plot it out. Sometimes also, especially if you're in a time bracketed amount of time, that you kind of rehearse and go through how long it takes you to get through the class. The smaller amount of time that you have, the less you're going to be able to talk about and cover. So you want to just have the essentials when you are pressed for time. Now, if you're fortunate enough to be in a situation where you don't have any end cap, then yeah, go nuts. Go nuts. Put every bit of information you want in there. Though, do be aware that, you know, having a 6-hour class, folks probably not going to last to the end. At that point, you're kind of figuring that it's one of those things that they'll be watching later. It's making content, but also how Twitch works. If you're using Twitch, you can split up the video into sections so that it's not just a 6-hour block, right? You can have it to where, right, if we're breaking up this one, and I don't care about the bid, I don't care about the online, the pre-event, I don't care about the event, but I'm really curious on what happens for post-event work. I can just click on the post-event section of the video, and that small section, I can just go directly to that and not have to watch the rest of it. So keep that in mind as well. So for individuals that are doing these, especially if you're doing multiple classes throughout the day, make sure that you break them up into time sections, so that when folks do watch these later on, that they can pick and choose the segments that they want to watch, and they can watch them in the order that they want as well. So, just a pro tip for the future. So, all things to consider. For the event itself, right, again, you're going to want to be dealing with your sign-ins. So, again, if you have something like the amp bot that we have for the Principality, make sure that you're making announcements, make sure that folks know and remember to go sign in, and you're able to explain the process of how to do it for those that are new to it, especially if you're running an event and you have individuals that may have not been on the Discord yet, and you need to walk them through that, giving ample amount of time in your schedule for somebody to assist them with their sign-ins, especially, right, the Techcrat being there should be able to do so. If not, again, right, if you're doing this on Twitch, for instance, making sure that they have their kingdom, or in our case, a Principality, if they're in Principality, their park, and their orc name, and then the class credit they want to take for the event. If you only have the park, you may not be able to know where the kingdom is, and then it becomes extremely hard to find them. You want to make sure that you're able to get those credits out, so you're going to ask them for all of that information and double check to make sure that that's what they've actually posted. Again, also, the cool thing about Twitch is that not only is it recording your video, it's also recording chat. So you can go back and actually look through the chat log, and you can see everyone that has signed in through that method if you're not, writing it in as you're going. Though, highly advise, if you're a Techcrat, write it as you're going. That will help a lot. Because again, some of these events can be just 6-10 hours. So having to scroll through 10 hours of chat, yikes, that's rough. So it's just easier just to go as you're going. So that's sign-ins. When you start the event, having an MC is really, really great. Having somebody that will explain what the event is, explain all the things that are happening, that are rehashing the schedule, letting folks know what's coming up next, reiterating who just taught a class, what they taught, thanking them for coming and doing so. Any other things that are going on, right? If there's other activities happening on different servers and platforms, making sure that they know that there are other aspects happening in the event, that it's not just what's on the video. And also, right, again, if you're doing something like an auction, being able to have that information accessible to them, other links, or having, video stuff playing as you're going, making sure that folks know that there is an auction. Be sure to go do that. It ends at this time, so make sure you get on that before that closes. That kind of stuff is going to be really good. Any rules, anything like that that's going on? If you have stuff that's like moderated and things like that, any house rules you got going during the day, you're gonna want to explain that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Yeah, day of, you're just gonna do the thing. You're gonna do the thing. And also make sure that you're fully aware of everything that's happening, because especially if you're the autocrat, you have to have the answers. When folks are going to message you out of everywhere, you're going to get private messages, DMs from Discord and Facebook and all sorts of things. Plus, you're going to deal with, the Twitch chat, the Discord chat, the Zoom chat if you're doing Zoom, Facebook, you're going to get stuff. You could end up getting phone calls and text messages even. However folks know to get in touch with you, you're going to get just everything's going to come in, and you're going to get just 50 million questions. There must be the most random things about the most random things that are happening in your schedule. You gotta know what the answer is, or know who and how to reach the person that knows the answer. So again, that open line of communication, super important. If you are doing classes and things like that and other activities, you want to be on comms all day. You want to be able to hear and see what's going on, right? So if you have, I can sort of explain what we do for us. We'll have headsets on. We'll be using our phones and the laptop. So like if Tyler were teaching a class and I was Autocrat at the time, right, I would have I'd be watching the stream on my phone in another room with headphones on, and I'd be doing it on my data, so that I can make sure that everything is going smoothly, that the sound's okay, the visual's okay. If there's something that he's not aware of, maybe the cat just knocked down the light in the middle of the thing and he didn't know about it. If he's asking for aid or water or something, right? And he's just left on screen by himself and going, oh geez, I could really use some water, and I can't really get up to get some water. So, oh nope, my wife doesn't know I need water right now. Right? You want to be in that situation, right? You want to be able to facilitate the things that are happening in that space. But also, when you're doing other classes and you've got the Discord set up to where you have the call and there's multiple individuals in the call, you can have it set up to where the Twitch live stream can hear them but not you, but the folks that are teaching the class can hear you, so that you can communicate with them throughout it, right? You can let them know time things as they're going, right? You can let them know when there's an hour left, half hour left, 5 minutes, right? Especially when you have the time blocks. Communicate to them where it's like they're having a hard time hearing you, speak up, speak louder. Or your camera has now slipped and it's only like showing your hat and nothing else. Being able to communicate with folks that are on a camera is really, really good, because it's also it's nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking for those especially that are not used to teaching in front of a camera. It is a very weird experience. I'm starting to get used to it, but it's still very, very weird and very uncomfortable, and can be very just anxiety inducing, and it's a hard medium to be able to teach in. I myself am very used to teaching with live audiences where I can read their body language and their micro expressions on their faces. I can see if they're losing interest. I can see if they're confused and aren't like asking questions but don't really want to say anything, kind of, right? You can gauge that sort of thing. When they're really cued on to something, and you know that, okay, lean more into it, focus more on that topic. When you're doing it, there's nothing here, right? The closest thing you have is your chat log, and a lot of times they will not be talking to you. A lot of times they'll be talking to each other, and they'll just I've had classes where there's 20 people that are just having this long, crazy conversation about something super, super not related, and I'll keep on going. They're like, oh, that's a question? No, that's not a question. Is that a nope, that's not to me. I'll read a thing and I think that it's a question for me, and it's a question for somebody else in the chat. Right, again, which is why we use the tagging. So again, if you're teaching a class, make sure that folks tag you for questions, because they will just go off and talk with each other, which by all means, yeah, go for it. Communication is a wonderful thing. Talk to each other. Go for it. Do the thing. But make sure you're able to have that tag so that you can see when it's coming to you, so that you don't miss any questions. So these are just random tips and tricks for being able to perform in front of camera and stuff. Things that help is test it. Even if you don't have your setup like this, get your phone and just do a video. Do a 5-minute thing of just getting used to looking to the camera, talking, getting into that mind space that you're ignoring all the nothing around you, and that imagining that there are folks on the other end that are actually seeing you and communicating and having that interaction, because otherwise, right, you'd have no idea. So it's a little weird like that. I will say from personal experience at this point, I think I'm on my 13th or 14th video at this point, 13th, 14th class. So it gets easier with time. You get more used to the atmosphere and the environment and kind of psychologically how it feels. And it does get easier every time you do it. It gets a little bit easier as you go. So definitely don't give up on the first try, and just get used to uncomfortable things. It's okay to just be uncomfortable in that space when you're learning how to do it. The more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it, and it becomes more of a norm thing. And you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it in the end. So try, experiment. Are there any questions having to do with what you're going to deal with on the day of the event for online events? If there's, again, 20-second delay, make sure that you tag me, please and thank you, either in the Twitch chat, of course, or in the 9 Blades Discord. I believe we are in the 9 Blades scheduled events section. Though I'm going to quickly check our featured park. Sometimes we do stuff in there. Nope, we're good. Splendid. And again, I want to thank everyone that's here right now, and everyone that's going to watch this in the future. I do appreciate you being here. Yeah, okay. So, Rajavia, right, this is the time. We're going to do the thing. We're going to do the 20-second delay dance. Silly dance. And the jazz. There we go. Good. I'm imagining you doing it with me. Solidarity is wonderful. Okay. So, you put in the bid. You won the bid. You did all the pre-event work. You did the event. You're done. Whoop whoop. Oh gosh. One thing I very much forgot to mention for the event day stuff. Self-care. Self-care is so important. Self-care is so important. Repeat stuff. Self-care, important. Make sure that you have some source of hydration that you are drinking. Make sure that you have a good night's sleep before you do it. Make sure that the space that you're doing is comfortable for you, especially if you're doing a class where you're teaching for multiple hours. Like, don't get into a position where you're gonna just be super uncomfortable and stuff like this. I have a secret hack. I have pillows that are stacked, that are hidden behind the blanket, so no one knows. Also, because of my hat, right, the pillows protrude to a certain amount where my hat goes out without hitting anything, so I can be fully up against the pillows without my hat getting all messed up. So, tips and tricks. Right, and then these aren't just decoration. At some point, especially if I'm doing the longer classes, I can start shifting them around. I can use them and play around with my position. So make sure you have stuff prepped, right? Have pillows around that you can play with. Also, cats are wonderful beings that are great supportive mechanisms that are great for when you're anxious, when you're nervous, and when you also feel really alone because you're talking to a camera and you don't see or hear anyone. It's super weird. But having this sweet ball of fluff right next to you, it's actually really comforting. So remember to have your pets around. They actually really do help. They're legit. They're super legit helpful. So pro tip. But yeah, self-care. Self-care is going to be very important. If you have any sort of medical needs, right, any medical devices, medication, again, right, right off screen, make sure that you have those things accessible to you and within reach, right? I always have my medication directly off screen, but it's right there in case I need it. I've got my drink. I've got a different type of drink here. Everything is preset, right? I've got my inhalers. I got everything that I need around me. It's important to be able to take care of yourself while being sort of stuck in this, right? I've got my TENS unit on, right? Be prepped. Know that you're going to be in a space for a long period of time, and that it's not easy just to get up and go grab a thing. So you want to account for that, right? Any little thing that you're going to need, if you're dealing with heat stuff, right? Having stuff remotes to be able to control stuff is really good. Having things within reach, very important. So self-care and make sure that you are prepping the area around you. Make sure this, again, right, the stuff is off screen, but that you have everything within reach of you, so that you can do so comfortably and if at extreme safely. So important pro tips for day of event stuff. Yeah, good stuff. So the event's already happened. Boom, it's done. Woo! Good job, you. Now what, right? Okay. There's post-event work to do. It's not done. You thought you were done. No. Oh, gosh. There's still more to do. So, what is left? Tech. If you're doing things like classes on Twitch, again, right with what we discussed before, chopping up your video into sections so that it's more palatable for your viewers later. Usually how these classes works is that the views really come later on when you have the links and you send them off, and people are able to watch them on their own time. And it's, you can get notifications and stuff, and you can actually see like how many times it's been viewed, which is really, really neat to see. And you can post those, you can spread those, and that's also something that you can do post event, right? You can send those links off to folks that you think that may be interested, or folks that you think it can help. So make sure that have that accessible. Make those posts. Let folks know that that is available. Something very important with Twitch is that correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler. You have like 15 days to do the highlight thing before you lose the video.
On Twitch, you have 16 days to highlight it. You can highlight the whole thing if you're worried, but I think at that point you lose the ability to edit it via Twitch.
Yeah. If you couldn't hear that, right?
Here, yeah.
Twitch.
Sorry.
Let him come
Sitting
in.
there yelling from across the room. Ugh. Oh, there's a cat here. Hello. So yeah, if you're streaming to Twitch, you have, it keeps your past broadcast for 16 days, unless you're like partner or affiliate or whatever, but most people are not. And during that time, you can use the highlighter tool, where you can actually select the little clips, like Amy has mentioned, and you can even take chunks of it and edit it into a single clip. So for example, that part earlier where I came in and I was pointing out like, oh, it looks like we've got some drop frames and that whole thing. When we make the highlight of this, I can cut around that so you guys don't see it. It'll just cut, right? And that's really useful. YouTube, I don't believe does that. I think YouTube just, here's the video, save to your account, and then if you want to edit it, there's some minor editing tools. Twitch is definitely the most accommodating for live streaming.
But yeah.
I think that's it.
So basically, you don't want to be in a situation to where you're not going to highlight it, and all of a sudden you film for 10 hours straight and then it's gone. So post-event work, that's important. That's one of the things that you want to take care of to make sure that you're not going to lose all of that work. So make sure that you do that. Make sure you do so in a timely manner, right? 16 days, it's gone. Um, Yep. So also at the end of the event, make sure you do your wrap up, especially if you're doing video stuff. Thank all of your crats. Thank your team. Thank everyone that came. Thank everyone that will watch these videos in the future, which I'll be doing momentarily when we get to the end of this. So, you want to close up everything, right? Nice wrap up, finish it up. No loose ends. So you're gonna want to deal with all of that stuff. You're gonna want to also make sure that any results, if not mentioned in the stream itself, maybe you still have to tabulate things, right? Make a post afterwards, so that you can make sure that any tournament results, any contest results, things like that, that you're posting those and making those available. Even if you do it on camera, for folks that weren't able to attend, maybe the person that won was not here watching this when you had the results available. So being able to have a post that says that, tag the person, really just make sure that everyone's aware that that happened. Make sure you have that in your post closing stuff up. If you do have an auction or fundraiser sorts of things, right, making sure that's all closed up, that the announcements of who won the bids for each of the items, you want to make sure that's clear. At that point also you want to make sure that any financial transactions are taken care of, right? Take screenshots of everything. Make sure that you have a plan and negotiate how the items are getting sent to the individual. Either have it to where if you do shipping, that they are covering the shipping, that it isn't going to come out of the profits of the fundraiser. Make sure that they know well ahead of time that that is a thing. You do not want to be like, oh, surprise, you have to deal with shipping. Make sure that that's clear in the rules of your setup. Otherwise, right, making sure that things are brought to like major events, right? Tell them that, like, let's say in a perfect world where Bhatti was still happening at the time of which we'd be doing it, if you were in this principality and you had done an auction saying, hey, if you brought an item, right, if you donated an item, can you please bring it to Bhatti? Hey, if you won this item, it'll be available at Bhatti. Sorry, my TENS unit shut off. Let me put this on real quick. I have electrodes on my spine. So I just had a procedure. Okay, cool. Oof. There we go. So, you want to make sure that that's all closed up. Make sure also you check in to make sure that actually happened, that those were actually delivered and received. Your fundraisers will not have credibility if you do not deliver on your promises. So don't make promises you can't keep. Super important. So check in with those. And take screen caps of everything, keep records of everything, because they will absolutely come up later. There we go. If you are the autocrat and there are any financial things whatsoever, you're going to want to do a P&L, which is a profit and loss statement. Yeah. You're going to want to explain every financial thing, how much you spent, how much came in, where the money went, all of it. You're going to want to mark all of that. Now, if you don't have an auction and you do not have a gate fee for these events, your P&L is going to be super simple, but still do it. Make it clear that this event cost our park nothing. We also raised nothing. This is a wash. It's important that you are transparent and open with your park. Make sure that they know that you did not spend money on this and you did not receive money on this. right? I know a lot of folks don't do that, but it leaves your park in the dark, so don't risk that. Make sure that you're being transparent with all things that are financial, because gosh, right, you're getting into the liability stuff there, and you don't want to mess around with that, right? We're a not-for-profit organization. You can't mess around with that stuff. Please don't. So yeah, any sort of financial transactions, interactions, anything that is coming in or going out, make sure that you're super transparent about that, and you post all that information. So that is a post-event activity that you're going to do. Other than that, award recommendations. If you are the autocrat of an event, you know the nitty-gritty of what your crats and what the teammates of those crat positions did. You are probably the only person that knows that. So your team's going to get overlooked hard if you don't say something. So please, 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 if you're doing an event, make sure that you talk to your monarch, your region, if there's, ANS things involved. Independent, right? Look up their orcs. See where they're at awards, right? And know what awards are for, right? So that you can be like, I am recommending this person for their number and type of order and why, right? Be able to explain that. But yeah, make sure you have a full crat list of things, and that you are actually putting them up for recommendation. You're gonna have some situations where you're green officers, and if you just put, I'm putting up this person, they did a really good job, so I think they just should have an award. If maybe even you say, I think they should get their next rose. If you have no idea how many roses they have, the monarch might just take you at your word and go, okay, and then give them whatever the next rose is. And that could be a 10th rose, right? Which we can't even give. Right? That might be a thing you have to go to Kingdom for. So it's going to be important that you actually know what you're recommending them for. There's also different types of awards, especially for those that are like really high up, and if the work isn't like substantial enough, know that still put them in and still make sure that they are aware of what's happened, right? Because they can stack, right? Maybe an autocrat hasn't done enough for one event for where they are, but if they've done a few events that they've autocrated, right, they have now a collection of events that they have autocrated, and that could be worth something potentially higher. So that's kind of just a thing to keep in mind. But there's also different things like zodiacs and flames and things like that. But other than that, right, any leadership stuff, like your autocrat, any sort of like team lead thing, is good for alliance. General service, right, which tends to be a lot of other crap positions, rows. And if there's something like a quest or something that's like classes, right, those are smiths. So it's good to know just kind of how they work. And if you're not 100% certain and you have questions, even vets, I'll tell you right now, a lot of times with award recommendations, even vets don't know exactly what things are for, because a lot of times it's through word of mouth that we learn what these things are, and when you actually look them up in the rule book, they're like, oh no, that's wrong completely. Look it up. Know what you're recommending, because yeah, you don't want somebody to end up getting overlooked or being given something that is way too high for what they're doing, which could just ruin the reputation and how their ladder works. So be conscientious of that. And if you don't know, ask questions, right? Always ask questions if you don't know stuff. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So if anyone has any questions about post-event work, or during event work, pre-event work, and bid, please let me know. Again, 20-second delay. If you could tag me either in the Twitch chat or our display Discord. Words are hard. In our Nine Blades Discord, if you could just tag me in one of those locations. If you have questions, please let me know. This is the time. We are wrapping up. Would super appreciate. And my one last silly dance for Rajavia, just for you. Silly dance, silly dance, silly dance. Jerry is curled up in a ball. You can't see it right now, but oh gosh, it's so cute. And ending with the jazz dance. So, yep. Okay. Again, I want to thank you so very much for those that are here watching, and thank you to anyone that watches this in the future. I very much appreciate it. Again, this has been online event planning. I am Admiral Ann Cash, or just Admiral. Again, I very much appreciate you coming and for watching this in the future. Take care of each other, and stay well.